Hey everybody, so today I'm gonna make a feather holder. So it's basically just a wallet that opens up. It has some ties on one side. You can open it up and tuck your feathers in there and keep them protected when you're traveling with them, or keep them protected when you're at home. Maybe you take a feather with you and you smudge with it, so you want to protect it in your bag or your car. Or you just have loose feathers at home that you want to put in something to protect them, and maybe you don't have a feather box, a cedar box, or anything to put them in. So this is just a quick little project that you can make, and it's easy enough to carry around. It's lightweight. This is the finished project, and it measures approximately 7 by 15 inches. And I've used two same color fabrics for the inside and the outside, but you could use Pendleton or canvas or denim, and you could even use two contrasting fabrics. Cut two pieces of fabric that measure 15.5 inches wide by 16 inches tall. I'm also using six 6-inch buckskin ties. You'll need one piece for the pocket, and it will measure 6 inches by 15.5 inches. To prepare your pocket, you're going to iron the upper hem at 1/4 of an inch, and you're going to fold it 2 times. And then you're going to take it to your sewing machine and give it an edge stitch. So I have 4 rows of ribbon, and I'm going to take my glue stick and rub a nice even layer down my ribbon, and I'm going to place it down onto my cover, line it up nice and straight next to the last row of ribbon. My zigzag, I have the stitch length set at 1, so it's a closer stitch, and I have the width set at 3.5. So you can decide with your machine how wide and close you want your zigzag to be, and then maybe try it on a scrap piece of fabric and see if you like it before you start on your project. I have my ribbons, the seam between the ribbons, I have them lined up with this line on my presser foot. You'll have to figure out with your machine where you're going to line yours up. The zigzag stitch should catch each ribbon. So you can see I have my zigzags done between the rows of ribbon, and I've used a dark contrasting thread so that you can see you can switch your threads each time. You could use a turquoise and then a purple and a black and then cream. It's up to you. It's your creativity, so do what you want with it and make it yours, make it unique. This time I'm going to use this far mark so that it's kind of like close to the edge. This looks like it's already sewn, but that's not. That's part of the ribbon. I'm using dark thread today. So I'm just gonna straight stitch that whole edge on this side and then on the other piece of ribbon. Trim your ribbon and excess thread. So I have the outside piece of my feather holder. I'm going to put applique on this one. So I have my one piece. I'm using my ruler to find the center of the front. And so I've put it in place. And I'm going to use a piece of parchment paper to put over top. You could use a different cloth, a thin piece of cotton or something like that. And then I'm just going to iron that one down and get it in place. And then I have another one here, and So you peel the heat and bond paper off and you're left with the glue side. And then I'm gonna layer this one over top of the first flower. Place the parchment paper down and give that a good iron so that it's all sticking to the fabric. Making sure that you don't have any edges that are lifting. So I'm ready to sew it. My sewing machine is set on the zigzag stitch. The length is 1 and the width is 3.5. So now I'm ready to zigzag the last one, and I'm gonna start right there in the corner, and I'm gonna backstitch there and go all the way around and then backstitch when I get to the end of it. And backstitch. So I'm gonna just add a little bit of decorative stitching here. So I marked it with a pencil, and I'm just gonna use a basic little star pattern, same color thread. Okay, so here's the last one. Just following my pencil line. I have my two pieces here, my lining and my outer cover. And you can see I have my applique here with my ribbon, and it's on the front part. And this is the inner lining, and I've ironed it down the center and given it a crease. And that crease is going to be a guide for my center stitching. So here I have my inner lining, it's face up, and I have my ties, and my pocket is wrong side down, and it's the same size as the lining. And I've taken a ruler and just evenly measured the 3 ties, and you can do 3 or you can do 1 in the middle. You could do 2 ties if you want. It's preference. So the pocket has the hem there, and it's all ready to go for the top layer. Here's my pieces all pinned together. I've pinned along the sides, the bottom, and left the top opening, sort of like a pillowcase. And so I'm going to give it a 1/4 inch seam all the way around those 3 edges. And when I pinned it, I made sure that I pinned the straps in there. So if I take a peek on the inside, you can see all of my layers. I have my pocket piece, I have my straps, my ties, and then I'm just going to take it to my machine and I'm going to give it a 1/4 inch seam all the way around the 3 edges. I have my 1/4 inch seam completed along the 3 edges, and it looks like a pillowcase or a bag, and it's sewn together, right sides together. So I've given the top opening a 1/4 inch hem press, and I've pressed that all the way around. And if we take a peek inside, you can see the ribbon and the ties and the pocket's in there somewhere. So I've got my 1/4 inch hem pressed all the way around, and then I'm just gonna take it and flip it right side out. Here's the inside, and here's the outside. Here's the open edge. That's got the 1/4 inch hem. So you're gonna wanna turn that 1/4 inch hem to the inside, and it's pinned along that center crease. So that's gonna be your center seam. And so you wanna make sure that your hem that you ironed is turned to the inside right here. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the machine and we're gonna back stitch, and we're gonna sew right along the crease here all the way to the bottom and back stitch again. So we have it here with a straight stitch. I'm gonna pull that pin out, lined up in this crease, and I'm just gonna give it a good back stitch. And I'm gonna follow that crease all the way to the bottom. Okay, so pretty much at the bottom, just finishing up that center seam that I did. So I've back stitched the bottom edge, sewn along this center crease, and I've back stitched at the top, making sure that the hem is tucked to the inside. So you can see on my ruler that 1/2 measures about 7 1/4 inches, and then it's 15 inches from the top to the bottom. So I've cut my insert pieces to those measurements, and today I'm using Coroplast. Coroplast is a corrugated plastic, just like cardboard. And that's what I'm going to use today. You could also use cardboard if that's what you have available. I really like the Coroplast because it's really strong and sturdy, and it's not going to bend. And I think I paid about $8.99 for a sheet of this at Home Hardware. It's about the size of a poster board. And maybe you could find some signage to recycle and reuse, repurpose. Now that you have your Coroplast inserts tucked inside the holder, all you have to do is hand stitch the openings closed. And you can use any method of stitching that you know how to do. You could use a whip stitch or any other stitching that is easy for you to do. On my project, I did a blind hem or a ladder stitch. And I really like this method for hand sewing because it hides the threads and it's really neat and tidy. Here we have the completed holder on the inside, and then the outside with the applique and the ties. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial.